right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the beatzillapdx official show. This is a news break, and we have a little bit to talk about. This is something that I came across on TikTok and Instagram. It's starting to go viral because this person got a lot of backlash for the things that they had said. So with that being said, we are talking about TikTok personality Winnie Parker. She said some interesting things about how Black people support, or lack of thereof, and you know, she got the response that she most likely deserves, and so I had to just take a look at a few things about this woman on her TikTok, and it's pretty interesting. She's one of those self-proclaiming individuals who touts preferences for white men. So, yeah, there's that. So let's start off with the first video, which has now since been deleted, but somebody had actually put it up on TikTok. So this is how the first video went.
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't care because I've been thinking about it a lot. It is better to have a following over a Black following. Before I go any further, this does not mean that I do not appreciate the people that support me and love me, okay? That's not what this means. But it is very obvious that Black people do not really support Black creators. And we wonder why we don't get these huge creators the way that we get these huge creators. And then we complain about it. But we're not supporting each other. And the Black creators that do have millions of followers, have a huge fan base, usually have a mixed following. For example, Jackie Aina. Believe it or not, Jackie Aina has a large community following. Monet, a large following. Fanita, a large following. Quinlan Blackwell. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple of years ago, she was roasted by the Black community because she was so involved in the community. But what's funny is it's the people and the community that are getting them millions and millions of followers that are boosting their careers. Of course, there are nuances here. It's not black and white, no pun intended, but that's really the gist of things. We don't support as much as people support.
Okay, so for who actually buys in and believes what she actually said, Black content creators get support, but what she's looking for is to be one of those big, viral, popular entities on the internet. And let's just look at some of those who she's referring to. Talk about one got drug on the internet because of her over involvement with that community. Well, yeah, because when you do stuff like that, people tend to look at you funny style. And if you really dig into what she's saying, how different is that than a Candace Owens? Is that not the same thing as a Candace Owens? It just seems to me, when you think of audiences, well, what does Candace Owens do? She panders towards, and it's not really a mixed, because to call Candace Owens audience mixed is laughable. But this is another example of a Black personality seeking a white audience, which in this case ends up being white approval. Because here's the truth. You can't just have a white audience and then act like you're not catering to that white audience. And we already know the dynamics here in America. So what does that mean you're doing? That means you're downplaying Blackness at every possible opportunity. And this person, I went down their TikTok. They absolutely do not disappoint. And so, just to give you some background real quick before, because she had to do an apology video. But before we get to the apology video, I just want to give you a quick background piece on who this person is. And this is the stuff that she's put up on her own TikTok. So let's be clear.
Okay, besties, I just made it home. I want to address this comment real quick, okay? So I know, I get it. I like the white man. I like white boys, okay? But that doesn't mean that I only date white men. Are they my preference? Yes. But in this dating pool, in this day and age, you cannot just be trying to date one race. It's just not going to work, okay? It's literally not going to work. So I'm just letting you guys know that I do like white boys, but I'm dating everyone. If I find you attractive and I think that you treat me well and you're nice, like, I'm gonna give it a go. We're gonna hop in the car. We're gonna room. We're gonna ride off, because I'm not gonna just limit myself to one race. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So anyway, I've been getting a lot of these comments, especially on the last video with my friend Cam. And you guys are like, this isn't her type. This isn't her type. Y'all, I'd be surprised sometimes about what my type is. Sometimes myself. So yeah, it's all love. I love you guys.
Yeah. So just to give you some background and what she said, her preference is for white men. Now, if she's dating a black man, I guess that's a constellation prize, because that's like a participation trophy. Hey, there's not really any white men around that I can date, so I guess I'll date you. Now, I don't really have a preference for my own, but yeah, you're here, so I guess that is not an attractive stance. I don't know what black man in his right mind that would say, "Oh, word, that's what you want? Okay." Because typically speaking, most men will just leave you to that and be like, "Okay, well, you can just stay there. No need to bother us." You understand what I'm saying? But, in this instance, here's the problem. When you ride the line and you pine for, especially, you're going after white men. Now, black men are always thrown in some kind of weird mix with white men when you start talking about patriarchy, and somehow we're wanting to try to be them. But you also, what you'll hear from those people that talk about black men trying to be like the white male patriarchy system, they never talk about diminishing the white male patriarchy system at all. They only talk about preventing black man's position. And this is the type of mindset that this is. What does she say her preference is? For white men. She's looking to please other groups. And then her own particular group from which she hails is the Constellation Prize. And this is something that I'm telling you, black folks, we need to stop allowing. And all of this, like, there's grace to a certain extent, but you don't need to be extending any type of grace to somebody who is standing out here like this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sure there's somebody listening right now that, well, brother, let me tell you something, brother. We all make mistakes and nobody's perfect. See, we need to extend grace in. So, with that being said, here's her plea for grace after saying what she willfully said. And I'll let you guys determine how you feel about her apology.
Hi. This is harder than I thought it was going to be, because I've never had to do this before. And bear with me, because I don't want to cut this up into pieces. I kind of want to just speak from the heart. I never intended to upset people as much as people have gotten upset. And I apologize for that. I apologize for what I said. I never meant for it to get out of hand. And I take accountability for the words that came out of my mouth, right? What I was trying to say was that in order to have a massive following, you need a mixed audience. You need more than just one demographic. And that the black community, really, I feel really could support their black creators more. And that was the point that I was wanting to get across. And it did not come across the way that I intended it to. And for that, I apologize. I do. I could have done better at saying what I meant instead of just hopping into the first thing that came to my mind. And that's definitely where I made the mistake. And I never wanted to upset anyone as much as everyone's gotten upset. I've definitely taken time. I've definitely thought about it. I'm sorry, there's eyelash in my eye. I've thought about it. And I can see where everyone's coming from. It's like I didn't mean for it to come off that way, but at the end of the day, I upset a lot of people from the words that came out of my mouth. I did. And I apologize. That was not what I wanted. And I didn't want my community, because, I'm a part of this community. I did not want my community to feel like I was bashing them or attacking them or any of those things. I am a part of the black community, and I've been doing this for a long time, and so I wanted to kind of just like say like, hey, like, we should support our black, creators more, basically. We should do that more. And I think a lot of that was a lot of that was shadowed over the fact of the way I also started the video. And it came out, to everyone on the outside looking in, it came out like I was talking crazy, right? And I understand that. It looked like I was talking crazy. I mean, I said the most rash thing ever, right? And that's why we're where we are now. So I definitely have learned my lesson, and I definitely have thought about this and thought and understand where everyone's coming from. I totally get it. The only thing I can do from here is to just, keep going and kind of show y'all that I care, because I very much do. And I hate that it came off that I didn't care about my community, because I very much do, which is why, I'm like, we need to support each other more. And yeah, that's basically it. Take accountability, apologize if I made you feel a certain way. That wasn't my actions. And yeah, peace and love.
Well, first, let me address. No, that was very much your actions. I think what you meant to say is that wasn't your intent, and to that regard, there's a huge difference. Your actions may not match your intent, but your actions were definitely your actions, and they were definitely hurtful. And I would say that maybe one of the reasons that the actions ended up being that way is because of the disconnect from the community that you actually internally hold. So I would have to say, Winnie Parker, you need to do some self-examination on what's going on there, because you say you're part of this community, but then you're willfully seeking a different audience. So either you want to be part of this community or you don't. You can't be both. And what you want to do is be able to serve two masters. But you don't look at your community as one until you got that wake-up call and you start looking at yourself as this. And then once you realize that everybody else is starting to see you as this, then you come back with the apology. Something that this person still has not done. But nonetheless, I will give you credit that you was able to kind of wake up and see the writing on the wall before that. But let's be clear, you was getting that Candace Owens tag real heavy, and you don't want that. because at the end of the day, with the black and you, I can't help but notice you make sure to refer to that you are part of this community. That doesn't go missed. Yes, you are part of this community in theory, but in spirit, it seems like you're torn. And right now is not the time to be torn. A house divided can't stand. So I don't know what you're trying to present to us. We're not looking, and as saying black content creators, as a black content creator myself, people support what they support. That's the bottom line of it. I've my own personal experience, especially when it comes down to our music scene. There is, it depends on where you are geographically. Where I am here, you will definitely see more white folks than black. But that's not that we're seeking that audience. See, that's where the problem is. If you put out what you put out and the audience you get is the audience you get, that's one thing. That means that you were a universal draw. What you have the mind state of, though, is particularly setting out to please a certain market. And you're not doing it naturally. You're choosing to do it willfully, which flies in the face of everything that we represent. Hip hop did not become popular because we were trying to please the white audience. Soul music did not become popular because we were trying to please the white audiences. And even to modern day, you have gospel artists who play on the record like a Mary Mary and so on and so forth. Gospel music, birthed in the midst of black culture, has nothing to do with trying to please any outsider. The draw that it is because it was just simply pure, original, real, authentic creation. That's the real draw, not this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed this quick news break. We just had to talk about this TikTok personality who had to stick her foot in her mouth and realized very quickly that the black sentiment is very, very, very different at this stage of the game. And so when you come out talking sideways about black folks, to black folks especially, you're going to get that work. Hashtag Free Smoke 2024. Family, you could follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You could email me at ourrealtruth at gmail.com if you want to put some money in the bucket and help support this broadcast and this channel. You definitely can do so at CashApp $beatzillapdx. That's CashApp $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, as we always remind you around here, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed. So please like and share. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section. And again, like and share this video. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. And for those of my members, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being members of this channel. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you. And if you're wondering why it's sounding a little different for this particular video, is because I'm using my mobile rig because this just came across, and so I had to go mobile versus the normal studio setup. So with that being said, you heard everything clearly and well and concise. So y'all have a blessed rest of your day, and stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.